And a lot of folks who, if you're listening to this, you've never invested in real estate and you're saying, Jay, you still struggle with this when I look at properties? Absolutely, I do. I pass over so many good opportunities because it's not perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Do
you're
you feel
doing
the
the
same way?
yeah, you're doing the consistency though. And what I try to tell
Yeah.
people is that the consistency of the activity every day, not just when you feel like it,
Yes.
builds the grit and builds the confidence that you can do something. And today, even though I didn't have the best workout, I feel like I got something accomplished and I feel like I'm going towards my goals. So it
Yeah.
really is just about that consistency. And so consistency in real estate is doing something like meeting someone every single day. It's doing something like evaluating a deal every single day. And even if you don't end up perfect, you've still got that grit and that muscle and those calluses around that activity.
But what are some of the things that you do as a real estate investor that helps you practice and helps keep you mentally sharp?
Yeah, I love where you're going with that. I tell anybody that's trying to get into real estate is, first of all, first and foremost, run 100 properties through an analyzer in a specific zip code. And if you want to, you can go to a second zip code as well. At the end of that, you're going to be so efficient at running numbers that that's a good skill to have. And at the very least, you're going to know that zip code better than anyone else and be able to say that street's not great, this street is good, understanding the market and things like that. Even if you don't invest in that specific zip code or those zip codes, you at least understand now what you're looking for in a specific zip code and things like that. And then last is just build connections. Like, we can talk about it a little bit, but my real estate journey really began in the single family space and the duplex and quadplex space. And now I'm shifting more into the multifamily space. And as you scale and grow, what you realize is this is a team sport. And not
Yeah.
only multifamily, but everything we do these days is a team sport. So if you're not out there reaching out to people, telling them what you're doing, finding gaps in your skill set and people to complement those, then there's that saying out there: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go as a team. So really reaching out to people every day and having conversations like this, getting to know people, what's their investment philosophy, where are they focused on, things like that.
How are you staying focused on multifamily, especially right now when prices are seemingly out the roof?
Yeah. So let me a point I like to make on the clarity phase is that we tend to think that decisions are binary. They're one right or left, one or zero, yes or no. And what I try to overemphasize here is I think they're more complex than that. I think decisions are interwoven because if you decide to take a right instead of a left, your options for things start to get more limited. And all of a sudden, people end up lost because they make a right decision and then a right decision and a right decision, and they're down a path where they didn't even want to be in the beginning.
For those folks who are out there who are aspiring and want to invest in real estate, but they don't really have that emotional push yet, right? How can you and I encourage them to say, guys, don't wait until you're kind of backed into a corner and try to figure out how to fight. Go ahead and start taking some action, right? Go ahead and get into the gym and start taking those reps. What is something you and I can message, we can come up together and say, move, take action. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if I have a great answer, but I'll go off of some of the pieces that I talk about with people in the clarity phase. Is, if I said, Jay, you got $10 million in your bank account tomorrow, chances are, if you're even listening to this show, you wouldn't go to Vegas and put it all on red, right? But I would also bet that if you're listening to this show, that you wouldn't go onto a beach and sip Mai Tais all day, right? So
maybe
I
for
would
a
ask,
little bit, maybe let's be transparent. Maybe for a little bit, we're going to go and do that for just a little bit, but
yeah, but I would ask, how would you spend your time? Who are the people you would spend it to? What are the causes you would volunteer to and things like that? And hopefully that you can start tying your vision of where you really want your life to be towards your financial goals and how finance fits into that. The main thing I want to overemphasize with people that are just getting started is think about your bills and how can you invest in something that pays for a bill. So if you
yeah,
have like $100 cell phone bill, for instance, can you just put $10,000 into something that produces a 10% return each month, and all of a sudden now you can pay for that phone bill? I'm really trying to shift some of the people that I know's mindset around, you're not trying to be a billionaire by doing this. You just want to
yeah,
pick one bill at a time and invest money in an asset that will pay for that bill. And ultimately, if it's real estate, that asset will appreciate over time. So when it's time to come and get that money back out, it'll be more than what you put in it. So you have a bill paid for and an appreciating asset. I would encourage people to think about where they want to be 3, 5, 20 years from now. What does that look like? And then start very small. Take your smallest bill and find something that you can invest in that will pay for that bill.
What's the best place for people to get in touch with you and get connected with you and everything that you've got going on?
Yeah, so there's 2 different places. First of all, you can find me on LinkedIn, Matt Fore. In my LinkedIn profile is Nashville. So Matt Fore, Nashville, big technology firm. You'll see me on there. The second place is I have launched a podcast as well called Ice Cream with Investors. And ultimately, I did it to have interesting conversations with interesting people that hopefully add value to people that are listening. I know Jay is going to be on soon, so you'll have to check that out. It means the absolute world to folks like Jay and myself if you just go subscribe to that and tune in. And I ultimately love talking real estate, love talking finances, love talking anything around investing and things like that. So if I can add value to you, it is my absolute favorite thing in the world to jump on and talk about that kind of stuff. Just be prepared that I might nerd out and go down a rabbit hole with you. So just be prepared for that. So Ice Cream with Investors, would love for you to tune in and subscribe.